Right now on 10 News at 11.
Just the arms swelling like he was slugging, like it was a fight.
What one woman thought was a fight was actually a stabbing in Oceanside. A man airlifted to the hospital and his attacker still on the run. The unlikely hero that came to the victim's rescue.
A new $300 million deal brokered by the Trump administration could finally stop the flow of sewage from Tijuana into our waters. The new plan that took 3 different countries to cooperate.
No, madam. Nay, but you will.
Inmates performing Shakespeare, the partnership allowing local prisoners to get a second chance at life after jail.
Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
Stabbed over and over in the back, chest, and arms. A man found bleeding in an Oceanside parking lot rushed to the hospital. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. This happened in the lot on Neptune Way and North Pacific Street, just west of the train tracks. Our 10 News reporter Anthony Purra learned it was a UPS crew that found the victim and then called for help.
Police say the UPS driver almost ran the man over. He was lying on the street. You can see where those paper bags are. That's where the man was on the street just off of the sidewalk. Oceanside detectives combed through the scene of a vicious stabbing. The victim was found in this parking lot on Neptune Way near North Pacific Street.
Well, this is a city parking lot, so we get a lot of beachgoers here. Today, this parking lot was pretty quiet.
The attack happened west of these train tracks. A woman standing on the other side says she witnessed what happened.
The arms swelling like he was slugging, like it was a fight.
She didn't want to be identified. She says she saw 2 men that looked like they were attacking someone that was already on the ground, but she couldn't see the person on the ground, and she couldn't really make out the faces of the suspects.
They were big and dark hair, and that's all I could really say.
She then saw the 2 men take off. Moments later, a UPS driver found the victim and called 911.
We spoke to him. He didn't witness it. He just found the guy laying on the ground already injured.
Police are looking for the man's attackers. They say the victim is in his 40s. He was conscious but was nonverbal. He was airlifted to the hospital. Police tell us the man went through surgery this evening. His injuries are considered non-life-threatening. In Oceanside, Anthony Purra, 10 News.
And we will continue to monitor the breaking developments in the investigation and bring you any updates on the 10 News mobile app. There's a free version available in the App Store. Just search 10 News.
It's a problem that's plagued San Diego County for decades. Cross-border sewage flowing from Tijuana that shuts down our beaches. But local leaders say the federal government is poised to finally address the issue in a big way. 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is live at Imperial Beach. And Derek, it's all because of this newly announced trade deal.
Yeah, the new trade deal President Trump has talked so much about with Canada and Mexico was just unveiled. It's the one that's going to replace NAFTA. And after negotiations between House Democrats and the White House, we now learned today that it's going to include $300 million for sewage cleanup. A big problem here in Imperial Beach, and local leaders say this money is a big win. This brown, toxic sludge from Tijuana could soon get hit with an influx of green. $300 million spread out over 4 years, thanks to lobbying by San Diego leaders at the local, state, and federal levels.
It took teamwork. It took everybody coming together and with the same message and advocating for that.
The money will be used for water treatment facilities and other infrastructure to divert sewage away from the ocean. The sludge has forced beach closures from Imperial Beach to Encinitas more than 500 days over the last 3 years.
That's significant, especially not only for public health and the impact to our own community, but also our economy. The tourism industry is our greatest economy, traded economy.
We really should have made these improvements a long time ago, but I'm just thrilled that we're finally getting some of the resources here that we so desperately need.
Congressman Mike Levin says the $300 million investment will go a long way towards the estimated $400 million needed to fully address the problem. And while the money is for projects north of the border, leaders say the trade deal lays important groundwork for binational cooperation. So the USMCA, as it's called, has support from the White House, but it's not a done deal just yet. It's expected to come up in the House for a vote next week, but it's not expected to come up in the Senate until after the impeachment proceedings wrap up. Reporting live in Imperial Beach, I'm Derek Stahl, 10 News.
Derek, thank you. A Claremont homeowner wants the city to take action after another crash outside her home today. A Lexus and a Tesla collided at the intersection of Genesee Avenue and Chateau Drive. Police say the driver of the Lexus ran a red light and was hit by the Tesla. The Lexus driver died at the scene. The other driver was taken to the hospital. A woman who lives next to that intersection says crashes keep happening there and it's time for something to be done.
We're hoping to get a guardrail put in front of my house. We can't tell you how many times this has happened. People just don't slow down. Slingshot right through the intersection, hoping they can make it, and they just T-bone. Everybody gets T-boned here all the time.
Investigators say alcohol does not appear to be a factor in the crash.
The Catholic Diocese of San Diego is being sued again for child sex abuse spanning almost 3 decades. 10 News reporter Rena Nakano explains the law that allows this new group of victims to come forward.
You couldn't write a movie like this.
It's the reality that these two grown men say they lived when they were altar boys under the guidance of Father Edward Anthony Rodrigue.
I'm 62 years old and finally found the willpower to talk to the public.
Marvin Main is one of 4 new people accusing Father Rodrigue of sexual abuse. They're now suing the Catholic Diocese of San Diego and San Bernardino for sexual battery and negligence. They're able to do so because of AB 218, which temporarily lifts the statute of limitations.
As of January 2020, there will be a 3-year, what we call revival window, a window of opportunity for people like Marvin and David to bring a lawsuit.
In 1963, Father Rodrigue started his career here at Mary Star of the Sea, but he was moved within 2 years. Then to Lakeside, Encinitas, Calexico, Poway, and many more. Every time he was accused of sexual abuse, his superiors would simply move him to another location. A total of 150 children accused him of abuse. David Tirado says he still has nightmares.
Us as little kids, we thought, well, he's just being affectionate. Until he took us to his room in El Centro and did what he did.
Get him drunk, show him porn, engaging in all kinds of very, very aggressive, deviant sexual behavior.
Father Rodrigue was removed from the priesthood in 1992. In 98, he was sentenced to a 10-year prison sentence for molesting a developmentally disabled boy when he was a janitor at an apartment complex. He died in 2009. But these men say his horrifying legacy lives on, and that's why they're asking others like them to come forward and face the truth.
I don't think anybody's above the law. And if you don't say the truth, you're lying.
Rena Nakano, 10 News.
In a statement, the Catholic Diocese of San Diego says, in part, our hearts and prayers and deepest apologies go out to his victims and all victims of clergy sex abuse. The Central Courthouse downtown will be open tomorrow after a hazmat scare this afternoon. An envelope with white powder was discovered on the 10th floor. It had been addressed to the court's legal staff. 2 people were exposed. The officers were evacuated. Traffic around the building was shut down while the hazmat crew did its work. Fortunately, the powder was deemed to be harmless. No one was hurt.
Just a few hours ago, the first funerals were held for victims in yesterday's deadly domestic terror attack in New Jersey. Thousands of people turned out to honor 2 of the people who were killed. Also tonight, news surveillance video reportedly shows the 2 killers going into the Jewish market in Jersey City. Francine Graham and David Anderson are accused of targeting the market in what is believed to be a hate attack. The store owner, an employee, and a customer were all killed. The suspects died as well. Community is mourning this latest attack and a rise of anti-Semitism that included the attack on a synagogue in Poway this year.
A few hundred bullets went into a body of a 24-year-old child. How can we, as a community, as people, bear that?
The crime spree began with the murder of this police detective. The killers were believed to be members of a hate group known as the Black Israelites.
It's a late night in Washington, D.C. as lawmakers begin the debate over the articles of impeachment against President Trump. The House Judiciary Committee met tonight to go over the two charges, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Republicans say the Democrats are simply using this as an excuse to overturn the 2016 election.
The big lie that we're hearing perpetrated tonight is one, the end justifies the means. The lie is that the sham impeachment is okay because the threat is so real.
But Democrats say it's crystal clear President Trump used his power to benefit himself instead of the country by pressuring a foreign country to investigate his political rivals.
If we do not respond to President Trump's abuses of power, the abuses will continue.
The House is expected to vote before Christmas. President Trump's trial in the Senate would be next year.
Officials in New Zealand, they are concerned the volcano that erupted 2 days ago could erupt once again. They say this is delaying the attempt to retrieve around 8 bodies believed to still be on the island. All are presumed dead. 8 others have been confirmed dead, and over 20 are hospitalized in critical condition. Officials say the chance of another eruption in the next 24 hours could be as high as 60%. Some are wondering why people were allowed on the island in the first place.
There might have been some geysering going on at the ground, some more, volcanic vapors or something. But to people just visiting that island, it would look like that's normal.
New Zealand says every burn unit in the country is now at full capacity. They have ordered nearly 1,300 square feet of skin for those burn victims.